Well, while Marley is trying to get back online, I'll go ahead and introduce the two speakers. So it's Maya Gans and Marley Gotti, and they will talk to us about tidyCDISC, an open source platform in art analyze clinical trial data. So as soon as Marley comes back, we can start. Or if you'd like to start, Maya, you can probably get started and go ahead and start. There she is. Oh, there you are. Okay. That's good.
Okay, awesome. So we're having some technical issues. Maya, can you please go ahead and share the screen?
All right, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Yes, you can. Go ahead.
Great.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We are, so my name is Marley Gotti, and I'm co-presenting with my colleague Maya Gans. We're very excited to share with you tidyCDISC, an open source platform to analyze clinical trial data. So for today's agenda, I'll start by introducing tidyCDISC, which is now on our package, and I'll go through a use case. Then Maya will jump in the demo application, after which I'll provide concluding remarks. So So tidyCDISC is a Shine application that allows you to create table, figures, and patient profiles interactively from ADAM data. So let's look at the data structure. Say that you have, for example, 3 files that you would like to analyze. The application does require for one of those files to be an ADSL data set, but you can have multiple others, like multiple PDS files. Behind the scenes, tidyCDISC will merge these data sets into a big data frame to ease the data analysis. So let's go through a use case. Say that you have the following fictitious clinical trial team. You have Aika, the clinical head, Will, the statistician, and Monica, the programmer. Before the study begins, Aika meets with Will to create the statistical models to be used during the study. In turn, Monica Will meets with Monica to establish the specifications and ask her to create the tables and figures to be used during the study. In turn, Monica creates the tables and sends them back to Will. And Will ask Monica again because he realizes that he likes an extra table, an extra figure, to add this new figure extra table to the study. And so this iterative process back and forth continues until, please skip ahead, Maya. So this back and forth continues until finally, after many iterations, we'll send the figures to Aika, and they are happy with the final results. So just this oversimplified version of the process can take weeks, and that's how tidyCDISC can help. So tidyCDISC cuts this iterative process. You can skip ahead, Maya.
Sorry.
So that's where tidyCDISC can help. tidyCDISC cuts this iterative process by allowing the creation of tables and charts quickly. In addition, each member of the team can explore the data by themselves. For instance, Aika doesn't need to code in R. She can use tidyCDISC to explore the data by herself. And Will also can use tidyCDISC to make tables and figures instantly, and he only needs to approach Monica once he has the tables and figures that he desires. Monica, in turn, can use tidyCDISC to do a preliminary QC before actually coding these tables and figures in any validated software of choice, like SAS, for instance. So now that we have seen how the application works, I'll leave the floor to my colleague Maya to give you a demo of the application.
Thank you so much. So this is the landing page for tidyCDISC, and we're going to give a, this is going to be a high-level overview. We have a booth in the expo with a more in-depth demonstration. But the landing page here, you can upload as many files as you'd like and just give them an overview, and then use those in our subsequent 3 modules downstream. So the first module is our table generator, which creates a palette of blocks from each of those data sets that you imported into the app. And we can stack them kind of like Legos. So I can take this numeric column, diastolic blood pressure, and drag in this mean block at a certain week in the study. And I see here the descriptive statistics for diastolic blood pressure at week 16. And we can create these tables by stacking blocks together. So now I'm going to take a categorical variable like race and a frequency block, and you'll see that that has been calculated in real time in this table. We can also group our data. So I'm just going to group it here by treatment. So now instead of being 1 column, we now have 3 columns. And the last feature, I realize I'm zooming, is that we can filter our data. So it's common to want to apply some filter like on a flag. So now I'm just going to filter the data where this safety flag is equal to yes. And once again, you see all our ends have changed. And we have this subtitle here that we've now applied a filter to our data. This filtering module can also be used in our other modules in the app, but I'm not going to demonstrate it there. And the last feature in our table generator here is we have these palettes of commonly used tables. So for instance, rather than dragging in your variables and statistical blocks over and over, you can create commonly used tables for your company, such as a demography table, which creates the table here. And then we can export these tables as either a CSV or HTML. Our Population Explorer allows you to look at the population graphically. So we have currently a scatter plot, spaghetti plot, and box plot module, but we're using Golem and a modular framework so that we can add modules, and we're always looking for collaboration. So I'm just going to show off the scatter plot module here, where if you select a numeric variable that changes over the course of the study, you'll select a week and then a measurement you want to look at. Whereas if you pick a different numeric variable that doesn't change over the course of the study, then you won't have those drop downs available. And we're using Plotly here so that you can inspect outliers and look at your data more rigorously. You can also apply categorical faceting. So if I want to facet by treatment, I can do that here, and even apply a different category like sex as a color to our graphs. Our last module is the Individual Explorer. And again, we can also apply filters in the same way that we can on the other modules. So if I select a patient, you see these basic demographics for this patient, and we can also, by clicking on narrative events, look at the patient's narrative throughout the course of the study using this interactive timeline. Similarly, we can look at that data as a table. And just as we have plots at the population level, when you toggle over to this Visits tab, you can create similar plots for that specific patient. And that is my quick demo.
Thank you so much, Maya. So as you can see, the application has 3 major features. It has a drag and drop table generator. It has a population explorer and an individual explorer. And the application is designed so that if you need to extend its functionalities, you could easily do so by creating Shiny modules. And we cannot end our presentation without acknowledging the entire team. We would like to thank Aaron, Bob, Robert, and the organizers of the conference. And thank you for coming to our presentation.
Thanks. Thank you, Maya and Marley, for wonderful presentation. There is one question from Nate. I think it's Nate, and he's asking about, is there a GitHub location for this app?
That's a great question, and we are currently working on making it available on GitHub. We hope to have it there soon, but it's not still on GitHub.
Okay. There is one other question, I think, from Manuel, and he's asking, how does the first step work? I mean, how does one person with no experience in R upload data in the beginning?
So in that demonstration app, we're just using an open source data set, but in our package, there's an import file button. So you can import files directly into the app. And in the sake of time, we actually have a booth in the expo. So we'll be headed over there. If you have further questions, we'd love to hear from you.
Right, fantastic. Thank you guys for a great talk. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.